A man named Joel was walking deep in the forest when he suddenly encountered a bear that seemed ready to attack. To this day, I wonder how he managed to capture the entire incident on camera in such a tense situation. See it for yourself.
Alright, this is me being stalked by a bear. Can't say I'm very excited. Shit. Whoa! I'm about 400 meters from camp. Whoa! Get! Oh boy. Whoa! Go! Go away! Go! Almost time to drop the camera and run. Well, not run. Whoa! 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 Get! Ah! Go! Get!
The bear was definitely in predator mode and seemed ready to devour any prey it found. However, Joel did everything possible to protect himself, knowing that a single mistake could mean the end for him. Hiking is a fun activity, but it carries the risks of the unknown. Fortunately, Joel emerged from the incident unharmed, which highlights the importance of proper protection and situational awareness when hiking or camping in the wild. Zurban Autos is a YouTube channel dedicated to road trip adventures, RV repairs, and troubleshooting various mechanical problems related to older motorhomes. However, on May 22, 2021, the creator uploaded a video that differed significantly from his usual content and was quite disturbing. Let's watch it together.
It was time for a vacation. Our home base is Vicente Guerrero, Mexico, in Baja, and it was time to get away for a little bit. So we fired up the old RV, and I changed the shocks. I did a bunch of work to the RV to get it road-worthy. The brakes, well, they looked good, 90%, but they hadn't moved. It hadn't been moved for over 2 years. So what happens to brake calipers? Even though your brakes look good, the calipers seized up on me.
I just put a fire out.
And they did not let go. And by the time I smelt it, and I'm like, okay, are they going to loosen up? I got to pull over. I don't like the smell. I get out, and I see flames. It's crazy. So that's what's coming up right here. And then I get into the...
While attempting to repair the vehicle, a mechanic who was passing by decided to stop and offer help. The man seemed experienced, calm, and willing to help. However, what began as a routine roadside repair soon escalated into something much more serious. The strange men headed directly toward the mechanic as if they already knew him or were looking for him. What was particularly strange about this encounter was that they didn't even look at Zurban. They completed their business and simply left. Once the atmosphere calmed down a bit, the creator gave the mechanic a spare battery so he could leave before they returned. This incident shows how quickly a simple breakdown can escalate. Luckily, both Zurban and the mechanic came out unharmed.
¿Qué tranza con la pila, puto? ¿Qué tranza con la pila?
¿Cuál pila?
¿Qué tranza con la pila?
¿Cuál pila se la enseñó?
Sobres, pues. Sobres, ábrete la verga.
What's going on here?
Oh my gosh. These guys just pulled up. These guys just pulled up and they're lighting this guy up. This guy that was helping me. They gonna rob my stuff. Lock the door. They took his car. They're chasing him. This is crazy. They're on the highway. They're beating him. He's running. They're taking his battery. Bella, go to the bedroom right now.
Why?
Go to the bedroom. There's some bad people outside. Go with mommy right now. Go to the bedroom.
What?
Yeah. This is insane. Taking his car. Oh, he's got a stick. Okay, baby. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. I took in my... Did I bring in my... I brought in my Milwaukee. Now there's people fighting outside. You gotta take the kids. No, we can't go anywhere. Take the kids. Okay, I don't think they're interested in me. I thought it was part of their scam. And they're gonna try and get me involved, but well, for my family's sake, thankfully, oh, he's taking his shirt seriously. Oh shoot. He got his battery. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Oh. Ay, ay, ay.
Grabates.
¿Qué pasó?
Grabates.
Bien. ¿Cómo estás?
Todo bien.
¿Sí?
Se llevaron mi
Ellos
teléfono.
quitar tu
llevaron mi teléfono.
pila.
Casey Anderson runs the YouTube channel Endless Venture, where he shares his adventures exploring nature. In March 2026, during a camping trip in the Okavango Delta in Botswana, his trip took an unexpected turn. The best part of the adventure was that he had company. He was with a videographer, a local guide, and his friend. When they reached their campsite, they pitched the tent and sat around a campfire talking about the dangers of the nearby wildlife, unaware that they were closer to an encounter than they thought.
Surround the fresh tracks of buffalo. And Kane says he knows where they're going. They're going to a place he calls Mapani Pan. Turns out that's where he planned on us staying the night tonight, so sounds like we might have some neighbors. That's the way we're headed now. Buffalo are notorious to being one of the most dangerous species in Africa. They've earned the nickname Black Death. But it turns out it's mostly the lone bulls, something that they call Dugga boys, that are the most dangerous. But even the large herds can be dangerous in the right situation. We've got to remain cool and calm.
During the night, they were briefly awakened by strange noises. Fortunately, nothing happened to them. The next morning, their adventure continued, but what they faced could have been lethal. Being surrounded by a pride of lions is an experience most people would prefer to avoid. If they attack, there is no way to escape. People often find excitement in the mix of danger and survival, but I think it's important to weigh whether an adventure is worth the risk. Miraculously, The lions were calm and everyone remained safe. It was an intense wildlife encounter that will be difficult for them to forget.
Well, elephants are in camp. But when you sleep next to a pan, which is the only water hole in the area, I think we can expect some visitors tonight. The Connie's right over there. Right over there with that big bull elephant. Oh yeah, that was amazing. And a shooting star just went across the sky. Private lions. In the distance, we're trying to close the gap on them. Here. Just on the other side of this bush. We got lions coming our way. There are 9 lions out there. Mostly lionesses, with a couple of young males. They've all spotted us in the bush and are slowly, deliberately stalking in closer. As this young male creeps in, you can see the rest of the pride lining up behind him. And while we're locked in on the male in front of us, another one quietly slipped in from behind. If you look over my shoulder in the shot, you can see all 9 lions. We are completely surrounded by a pride of African lions.
I'm trying to find a rational explanation too.
This is Davey, an outdoor enthusiast who runs Davey's Dash on YouTube, sharing his backpacking, camping, and hitchhiking adventures. On June 7, 2025, he embarked on a camping trip, enjoying pleasant weather and stunning views at his campsite.
Photography, topography, whatever the hell I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's just beautiful down here. The brookies are jumping. As you just seen, there's some sort of I don't know what it is, man. Weasel, like I don't think it's a pine marten. It's not a mink. Still trying to rack my brain on what it was. But yeah, so got choice of a pad there, a tent pad here. I'll probably put the fire there and have my tent pad here. Pretty sure that's the way it's gonna play out. So yeah, just beautiful, lovely little river. I mean, when brook trout are jumping, catching flies off the top, it's all the entertainment I need. We have the pack strapped to the tree, and yeah, as far as it goes, my camp is set. There it is. Kitchen, sleeping. So we have the my Coleman bag, which is my summer bag. So I just want to have the smallest one packed. I have my thermarest from 2016, my Pro Light regular, and then I just have the footprint for my tent. And that's camp. Oh, I also have my thermarest airhead pillow there, and kitchen. Just gonna grab some fresh water out of the river, and yeah, that's camp tonight. That's it. There's no tent.
After a long day of exploration, Davy finally settled in for the night, unaware that his peace was about to be disturbed.
It's not that fucking difficult to respect other people, is it? So start showing some fucking respect if you want respect. Do you need my light to help you get out of here?
No.
No? You know how to get out?
Would you mind just giving me a few minutes? I'm still in my sleeping bag.
Why are you in your sleeping bag? You knew there was somebody in a tent here. You knew that. Do you think they're going to feel comfortable falling asleep in the middle of the night with a fucking stranger 20 feet away? Do you honestly think that? The answer is no. And you wouldn't feel comfortable either, would you?
All right,
no, you wouldn't. Fair enough. Fair enough.
My apologies.
That's fair enough, mate.
My apologies. I will push on.
I already got a hold of the fucking RCMP and told them to fucking get over here and deal with their fucking shit, because I'm sick of this fucking bullshit, mate.
I was sleeping until the homeless man with two fucking goddamn fucking steel pipes come fucking walking into my camp about 10 feet away from me while I was sound asleep. Well, I guess we know who needs his fucking teeth knocked down his fucking throat now, doesn't he? But that will be a battle for another day. That is not our concern tonight. Our concern tonight is being somewhere safe and getting some kip. So, alright, well, I guess we're shoving off. But that motherfucker had better fucking watch the fuck out, because all I should do is just got up and fucking throttle him. But again, he had two steel pipes in his hand 10 feet away from where I was sleeping. And yeah, that's not gonna work for me right now. So let's just fucking go.
Davy woke up and saw a man nearby holding two steel tubes, which terrified him. Fortunately, nothing happened. The YouTuber moved to a safer spot and tried to sleep there until morning. Fadaflashy is a gaming streamer who occasionally shares his daily life. He was challenged to film a video in the Appalachian forest and, after some persuasion, decided to go during the day. However, his experience was shocking enough that he wouldn't accept that challenge again.
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the bag. Where? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Without his viewers, he might not have realized he was being stalked. It's difficult to know a stalker's true intentions. The video was short, and there was no follow-up to explain what happened next, so we can't be sure about it. I think one of his viewers, who knew about the challenge, might have followed him into the forest to play a prank on him. But if it had been a real, unknown stalker, that would be concerning. Are you enjoying the video? If so, take advantage of this pause to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you can keep enjoying more terrifying videos like this one. Let's continue with the next case. For Mary, her digital space maximalist minibus represents something much deeper than a logbook of her travels on wheels. It is a corner of absolute transparency where she portrays wildlife without embellishments or editing. Her followers enjoy seeing how she balances her work obligations with that almost magical serenity that arises when the daily hustle fades away in the middle of nature. However, on the night of September 10, 2025, that peaceful setting was about to take on an extremely somber hue. The trigger for this story was a simple coincidence. Mary defines herself as an expert procrastinator. In fact, she had a monitoring device stored in a drawer for over 12 months, gathering dust while waiting for the right memory card or the ideal moment to make its debut. That day, after a routine stop at Walmart, she resolved to put an end to the procrastination. Without suspecting it, that subtle flash of initiative would transform into the most crucial decision of her stay in the wilderness. She placed the lens on a seat facing her tent, hoping to perhaps record the silhouette of a nocturnal raccoon or the stride of a deer under the sky. At dawn, however, the forest atmosphere grew dense. Upon approaching her shelter, Mary noticed an anomaly that set off her alarms. The zipper of the canvas was not in its original position. It had an opening at the top section, a pattern that unequivocally betrayed the intervention of human fingers. Panic threatened to paralyze her, but a memory saved her. The camera was still there. What she discovered when playing back the files was not a curious animal or a lost hiker. It was a scene worthy of a horror movie.
I've had this camera for at least a year, maybe more, probably, maybe even 2 years. It's a trail cam with a little solar panel on the top, and, you know, it has its own power and everything. And I searched for it because I wanted one that had its own power so I could put it anywhere. Didn't have to worry about whether I have power there. And it has the solar panel, and then it also has inside this little door, it has battery backup. You're supposed to put batteries in it, which I haven't done yet. Surprise, surprise. But anyway, the batteries are like C batteries oh no, actually, you know what? It's 4 AA's. So I got to get AA batteries, but it works without it. So I should still be able to set it up. But the reason I haven't set it up is because it takes an SD card, and I have SD cards, but they're, you know, I don't have any this small. It only takes it can only be a maximum 32 megabyte SD card. So I've had it on my list on and off forever to buy a card for this thing. And finally, I was at Walmart and I remembered. So I got an SD card. So now tonight I can set this up. I'm going to put the camera on this little footstool that I always put in front of my tent when I close it up for the night. It's basically just shooting right next to the bus. Probably not the most exciting place to put the camera. Probably should put it over by the creek. But for the first night, I don't even know if it's set up right, so I'm just going to leave it here. In the first part, it shot at like 8:30, and it just got like some campers walking to the restroom, but then nothing until 2:30. And then at 2:30, you should see these headlights. So it looks like the car's coming from around, like maybe either somebody drove in and they're turning around right now, or I don't know. Or, I don't think it's a camper, but so the headlights come this way, and then it's a pickup truck that goes by. I don't recognize it. It could belong to a camper, could belong to somebody in the cabins up the road, but I know most of those cars. It's not a vehicle I recognize. Let's start with that. But right after it goes by, keep your eye on this over here. Okay, there he is. You see him? He's got glasses on that are shining. He's got on a baseball cap. It looks like he might have a goatee. And here he comes. He walks across. See, he's got a trash bag, it looks like. And I thought at first he had a backpack on, but you'll see in a minute it's not a backpack. So he walks by. And then it missed the first part of him, but then he comes back with a flashlight, and he's coming around, like, I have a table over here with a bunch of stuff on it. He's coming around, probably checking out what's on that table. I think okay, now look, here he comes. Now he's shining the flashlight in through the mesh of the tent, trying to see what's inside the tent. And you can see, like, his pants are all kind of frayed and everything, but he leaves again. He walks by, and he's going, like, probably over to the golf cart to see what's in the golf cart, because the golf cart's parked in front of the bus. And then he goes around. I think he must probably go around the bus and come back again, because give it a second, he's going to come back. There he goes, coming back around for another chance. And this time, he's not going to just look inside the tent. This time, yeah. Give him a second. There he goes. He's coming right to the tent. And look at this. He moves the camera. I mean, he moves the camera. I guess he doesn't know it's a camera, but he moves the steps with the camera so that he can unzip the tent and get inside. And then he's inside the tent for all you can hear him plunking around, moving things, stuff like that, moving stuff around. And then the movement stops, so the camera kind of stops recording. But you can hear him still, but you can't see him. There he goes. Now he comes out. He's got that jug of water, which I think he had going in, but he's got a trash bag, and he's wearing a trash bag. It's not a backpack. But it was pouring rain last night, so I can understand why he'd have something to protect him from the rain. But that's it. That's the whole thing. So I've been looking around trying to figure out what he took, but I can't really find anything. I mean, the most obvious thing would have been this tablet. I mean, I don't leave my laptop in here, so tablet would have been the next best thing. He didn't take it. Then again, it's kind of old school. Maybe he's an electronic snob. I don't know. My printer's here. This is a good printer. He didn't take that. Umbrella lights, solar umbrella lights. Those would probably be good if you were camping or something. Maybe, I don't know. He didn't take them. Ryobi charger would only be good if you had Ryobi tools. Elvis glasses. Yeah, all this stuff is still here. Oh, my hummingbird feeder is still here. He didn't take that. And this is, remember I told you I had a cute squirrel feeder? This is it. It's not assembled yet. Surprise. But I do have a toolbox in here, and it's got a lot of small tools, you know, things that he could have taken either to use or to sell. Things with some value, and he didn't take those either, so I don't know. It doesn't really look like he took anything. So I don't really even know why he was here.
In the middle of the absolute silence of the early morning, an unknown vehicle bursts into the shot. Moments later, an individual emerges from the shadows. It is a subject wearing a cap, glasses, and carrying a plastic sack on his back as an improvised cover. What truly curdles the blood is not his intrusion, but the sluggishness of his movements. The stranger acts with a disturbing coldness, shining a light toward Mary's belongings, inspecting the surroundings, and even giving himself the luxury of adjusting the direction of the lens to better record his actions. Without hesitation or urgency, a meticulous violation of space that went on for several minutes while she rested just a short distance away. The outcome of the intrusion turned out to be the most baffling detail. Upon examining the inventory, Mary noticed that the expensive items remained intact. The intruder ignored the high-priced objects. He only stole basic personal hygiene and sanitary supplies. At that moment, the image of the dangerous criminal blurred to give way to a more intricate profile, the image of a marginalized inhabitant who subsists hidden among the trees with minimal resources. Mary experienced a duality of emotions, the shock of knowing that her privacy had been violated and, surprisingly, a flash of compassion. She wondered if, had he knocked on her door for help, she would have aided him. In the end, the experience sheds light on an uncomfortable reality. Even when you immerse yourself in the most remote corners of the planet, absolute solitude is a myth. Sometimes, an object so common, placed after a year of neglect, is the thin line that warns you of a truth for which no one is prepared. Eva Zu Beck has built her career demonstrating that extreme challenges are her natural habitat. Through her content, she projects herself as an indomitable explorer, willing to spend the night in the most isolated and hostile places on the globe. Her day-to-day life is based on keeping control of the situation, backed by her physical strength and her skill to master the elements. However, on November 13, 2024, that shield of apparent invincibility shattered into 1,000 pieces. While spending the night deep in a lonely forest, an environment where absolute isolation is usually her greatest ally, a scenario unfolded for which no survival guide offers answers. Control of the scene no longer belonged to her, but to a stranger lurking among the dense vegetation.
A man that I don't know appeared on my property. And he turned to me and he said, "Oh, finally I found you. I've been looking for you." This is a man that I don't know, that I didn't invite here, that I didn't want here, who came here all on his own to my private property in the mountains, where there is no obvious path that leads here. He made his way up the hills and through the fricking forest to find me, uninvited. To find a woman who's camping on her own, on her private property. To find her and do what exactly? I was shocked. I was shocked and immediately felt so vulnerable and so scared. I immediately told him that this is my private property and that I'm not looking for guests. I took my axe and I went inside my tent with Vilk. This is not the first time that something like this has happened.
Without warning, a stranger burst into her private space. Far from being a chance encounter between travelers, the man's first sentences hit like a direct sledgehammer blow. With a disturbing sluggishness, he confessed to her that he had finally found her after tracking her for quite some time. In that split second, the vastness of the forest shrank to nothing. Eva felt a paralyzing chill as she digested the gravity of the situation. She was dealing with an absolute enigma, yet the intruder possessed perfect data regarding her identity, her exact location, and had traveled to that precise spot with a clear purpose. Her defense mechanisms, polished after years of solo travels, kicked in immediately. Firmly, she demanded that he leave the perimeter, but the individual showed no sign of urgency. He moved around with an infuriating sluggishness, loitering about the camp for several minutes before taking the retreat path. However, even though the intruder's silhouette dissolved into the grove, the atmosphere remained heavy with an suffocating anxiety. Had he truly retreated, or was he waiting, crouched in hiding, for the embers of her fire to completely burn out?
It's a really terrifying experience when men that you don't know seek you out and you don't know what their intentions are.
I drive over to your friends, just park for the night or somewhere else, go back in the morning to clean up stuff.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
It's especially earlier than later. It's not fun. It's fucking convenient as fuck. But like, if we're just trying to play risk management with a situation where you have a bunch of unknowns, you don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
He says he's visiting. It could be another weirdo that's coming to look for stuff. So like, we just don't know.
Yeah.
Comes up with beers.
Yeah.
So he starts drinking and thinks, I'll go back.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really know what to do, but my friend's telling me to go down to the car and spend the night in the car. Vilk is looking pretty alert. Normally he's already sleeping at this point. And I kind of don't want to leave the tent here, but I also don't think I'd be able to fall asleep here tonight, honestly. Because I don't know. People drink, people get stupid ideas in their heads. It's so dark, I don't want to go through the forest in the dark. But I don't feel safe here right now. My gut's telling me to go. So, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take some luggage. I'm gonna go to sleep in the car. But the craziest thing about all this is that I know for a fact that there are wolves in these forests right now, as we speak. Because I've seen them on my trail cams, because people in the village have lost dogs and sheep just now, this season. And yet I feel like it's safer for me to go down the forest to my car, just to reach my car, than to stay here and face the risk of a strange man.
The tranquility of the shelter had been corrupted. Eva could not banish an alarming factor from her mind. The subject was carrying a beer container. The possibility of facing an erratic individual, potentially under the influence of alcohol and focused on a personal fixation toward her, turned her tent into a vulnerable display case. The slightest rustle of the fallen leaves or the silhouettes distorted by the wind felt like an imminent attack. Aware that under such vulnerable conditions indecision can cost a life, she adopted the most difficult stance for an outdoor enthusiast, abandoning the position. She packed her gear against the clock under the cover of night and headed into the total darkness of the mountain. She knew perfectly well that the territory was home to packs of wolves. However, at that critical moment, the wild creatures were infinitely more noble and transparent than the dark intentions of that stranger. At the close of this bitter experience, an implacable moral remains. Sometimes, the most severe threat at the edges of the map does not come from the weather or the wild fauna, but from a human face that should have never crossed your path. What do you think that individual was truly looking for in the middle of nowhere? Lori and Ruben are the protagonists of Life After Kids' Journey Unknown, a project born from the desire to experience absolute freedom on wheels upon turning 50, exploring the corners of the United States in their motorhome. But on October 23, 2022, during the first months of their full-time journey, they ran into the most enigmatic and sinister face of the road. In the middle of the deep night, the silence of a lonely spot was broken by an inexplicable sound that, even today, makes their skin crawl.
What the heck is that? Babe, wake up.
What's going on? What happened?
Don't you hear that screaming?
Wait, who's screaming?
I don't know.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what is going on, babe.
Turn
on the light! Turn on the light! Oh my gosh!
Sorry.
Dude, it's like right there.
Do you see anybody?
No, I don't see anybody.
How the hell is that person screaming if we're not even there?
I don't know, but it sounds like a kid.
Kid just keeps screaming. What the hell?
Okay, the kid has been screaming for like about 10 minutes now.
Straight.
Screaming. I don't know if you can hear them, but it's screaming. We think that it's coming from 2 RVs down that way.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
It just stopped. I don't hear it anymore.
No, he's not screaming anymore. What the hell?
I don't know. Maybe he had a nightmare or something, but I mean, the kid was screaming bloody murder.
Like crazy.
Like, woke me up, scared the crap out of me. It's like, what time is it? Like freaking 5 o'clock in the morning?
It's like 4:30.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so tired, but holy crap, that kid was screaming. That kid was screaming bloody murder this morning, and I really want to find out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, because it was just like screaming for like 15 minutes and then silence.
Yeah.
It was 4:30 in the morning when a disturbing din shattered the traveler's sleep. The crying of a child could be clearly heard. Far from being a sob muffled by the distance, they were desperate and shrill screams that seemed to come directly from the threshold of their van, reflecting an indescribable pain or fear. For 10 eternal minutes, the sound filtered through the walls of the vehicle uninterruptedly, like a human alarm that refused to go quiet. Suddenly, as quickly as it began, the noise stopped, giving way to a stillness that felt even heavier and more disturbing than the previous screams. Lori, with her heart in her throat, looked outside as discreetly as possible. The panorama was bleak, nothing in sight. No houses, no parked vehicles, and no sign of life for miles around. They were in a completely remote area of the map, a place where the presence of a child at that hour of the night was impossible. After analyzing the risk, they decided not to go outside, an action that sparked an intense controversy on social media once the video was posted. Many users praised their decision, arguing that it was a deliberate trap to get them to step out, while others harshly criticized them for not notifying emergency services about a potential real victim. Despite the debates, the couple never obtained answers, nor did they ever touch upon the subject publicly again. The incident closed in the absolute most complete of mysteries. Was someone in real danger seeking help in the vastness of the night, or was it something much more calculated lurking in the darkness? No one knows. The only certainty is that the echo of those cries became an invisible presence that will accompany them on every route, reminding them that there are noises in the early morning that are better off ignored. The British Channel Wandering Wild Things steps away from fiction to show the rawest side of rustic life, surrounded by impenetrable forests and lonely rivers. Its protagonist explores the most remote places in the United Kingdom alongside her dogs, capturing the practical and shifting reality of spending the night out in the elements. On February 25, 2026, while carefully driving along a muddy path next to the water, she stopped to check the spot chosen for camping. The site left much to be desired. The ground was waterlogged, full of potholes, and scattered with remnants of broken bottles everywhere. While she hurriedly picked up the glass to prevent her dogs from cutting themselves, the atmosphere of the place turned strange. Suddenly, the calm of the woods was interrupted. Willow, one of the dogs, froze, fixing her gaze into the thicket of the trees before letting out aggressive growls and barks. It was not the playful behavior shown toward common prey. It was a sign of real danger, a reaction that forces you to drop whatever you are holding and prepare for the worst. The driver stopped instantly, trying to see what was frightening Willow among the shadows of the forest, but nature refused to reveal what was out there.
Okay, what's going on? She's acting like there's someone over there, but I don't see anything. Shh, and Willow is not the barker. Willow doesn't do this. So if Willow's doing this, something's freaking her out. Hey, Willow, it's okay. Holly's not freaked out though. Hold on, you guys. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. You might, if there is someone over there, I wouldn't sneak around. Hey, Willow. Olive, do you see anything? Do you see anything? Who's there? Willow Dean, it's okay, baby. Willow, come here. Willow, what do you see? Come here. Hey. Come here. I don't know what's going on, but my heart's racing a little bit. All right. What is it, Will? I don't like this. I don't like it. Is it maybe the horse person that we saw earlier? Willow, come here. Willow, come here. It's okay. It is a road. Come here. Come here, Bibs. Are you okay? What is it? Her hair's not up anymore. Well, it is a little bit. She's acting like someone's around.
With her heart beating at 1,000 miles an hour, she began to walk slowly through the campsite. She called her pets and checked every corner with her gaze, looking behind the tree trunks and following the path with her eyes, hoping that any footprint would give her a clue. She saw no one, but the seed of doubt had already been planted. She knew her dog would not act like that without a weighty reason, and the feeling that someone was watching her from the darkness became unbearable. Just when her nerves were on the verge of collapsing, Willow barked again, pointing this time in the opposite direction. Following the rustling of the leaves, the creator finally located the cause of the mystery: a small wild animal crossing the bushes. Relief arrived immediately upon seeing that the danger was reduced to the local wildlife going about its life. Feeling calmer, she finished setting up the shelter and prepared dinner while the cold bit to the bone. The night was tough. Between a heating system that failed and the very cramped space of the van, resting was impossible. At dawn, reflection came naturally. Camping without company in remote areas implies permanently living with uncertainty. Sometimes danger is close. Other times, it is just the forest reclaiming its space. But when you are completely alone for miles around, the echo of every sound becomes giant, reminding you that in the middle of nature, the distance between safety and terror is as thin as the wind between the branches. The following case leads us to examine Austin Armstrong, a content creator who has built his community based on overcoming comfort. His narrative focuses on exploring danger head-on, traversing rustic environments that most people would prefer to contemplate from the safety of a mobile device rather than step into in person. Austin seeks risk voluntarily, but on one particular camping journey, he ran into a level of terror for which no camera or platform had prepared him: an invisible threat in the middle of the night. The selected spot was Poca Lake, located in Indiana. From the beginning, the weather proved to be hostile, characterized by a freezing and damp cold. However, for someone with Austin's mindset, the difficulties of the environment were not a deterrent, but rather the main incentive of the trip. The selected spot was Poca Lake, located in Indiana. From the beginning, the weather proved to be hostile, characterized by a freezing and damp cold. However, for someone with Austin's mindset, the difficulties of the environment were not a deterrent, but rather the main incentive of the trip. Upon arriving at the coordinates, he discovered a completely empty area, an isolation that he initially considered an advantage for relaxing. He set up his bivouac under the shelter of a large tree and dedicated more than an hour of constant effort against the dampness of the ground to be able to start a small campfire.
As you can kind of sort of maybe see, it's kind of raining, but that's okay. I just went out in the middle of nowhere at this campground at Potoka Lake in Indiana. I'm the only one out here. Obviously, it's kind of cold and it's projected to get colder and it's raining. But I like a challenge whenever I camp, and I've camped in much worse weather conditions than this. So I figured, yeah, why not? So here's my little site right there. So I'm gonna make the most of what I have here and see what I can do with it. Even with the rain, here's my tent. I need to figure out how to set a fire in the wetness of what I have here. I moved this table. I'm probably going to move it over there closer to the tent. So the tent over here is under let me just move. Under some trees. That'll protect it for the rain and stuff. I'm thinking maybe I can move the fire pit over here as well. That's underneath some of these trees. Maybe that'll make it a little bit easier. But as you can see, like, there's nobody here, which is good. That's what I was looking for, just kind of getting away from everything. Well, I guess I can do a demonstration of how to start a fire when everything is wet, because I'm having some problems here, and I think I did it. So I took some branches and stuff, and so if you don't know, here's a little like tip, okay? So whenever you're camping and you're trying to make a fire, make a teepee. You see how it's like in a triangle shape? You see how that? I mean, there's a reason in all the kids' TV shows that like it's a teepee, you know, like the campfire is shaped like, you know, like a pyramid or something. That's how you want to do it. It's been about 2 hours now since it stopped raining. I still need to find more wood, so I have my headlamp. I just need to find some bits and pieces just to keep it going. We're going pretty strong, but it's getting pretty thin, if you can tell, like down in the bottom of it. You can't really see anything out here, so yeah, I have this flashlight. It's got a good beam on it. So I found a stack of firewood out this way. Okay, you can kind of see that light right there. So that's an outhouse. So if I follow this light, where my light's going here, there's a former campfire that was over here. If and somebody left a decent stack of firewood. So it was mostly wet. What the? I don't know if you guys just heard that, but like something literally just went boom over there. Holy crap. I'm trying to find a rational explanation too. Like maybe it was the wood. But it doesn't look any different than when I left. And I don't think that this would make that kind of sound. What was that? I hope that showed up like on the camera. Let's see that. Okay, this is better. Come on, surely there's not something out here right now. I would be upset. I would be so upset if there's something out here right now. But that was a very large boom and snap. It sounded like there was something like climbing through something. So it could have been an animal. But I'm praying to God that it was something collapsing in the fire. But it was very, very loud. So, update. I found out what that crash was earlier. What it was so I put the sign had fallen down in the middle of the road that said like safe area, no dogs, no weapons. And so I set it up against one of the tables, like one of the camping tables. So I set it up against that because it was in the middle of the road. And I look over whenever I went out to go to the bathroom or something, and it was laying on the ground. So I was like, wait a minute, that makes sense. It was just a sign the entire time. Alright, so here's the update. It's almost 1 a.m. and I bagged out of the tent because it's pouring and I got paranoid as hell. I'm not gonna lie. It's freaky out here by yourself. I'm not gonna lie, it's true. But that's okay. I'm warming up the vehicle here, kind of charging my phone just in case I need to contact anything. I just figured I would be safer and warmer and better off in this van than in a tent. I don't know, it seems like common sense to me. But I'm still out here, still going strong. I'm trying my hardest to keep going.
With the fire finally lit and the arrival of pitch darkness, Austin realized an inevitable fact. If he wanted to keep that heat source alive through the night, he needed to gather more wood. That forced him to leave the illuminated perimeter behind and venture into the blackness of the vegetation. Guided by his flashlight, he walked toward an adjacent area of the forest that seemed uninhabited. There, he spotted a pile of stacked firewood, forgotten by previous campers. He was about to grab the logs when a violent, sharp crash tore through the calm of the night, echoing among the trunks with a force that curdled his blood. The shock was immediate. Austin swept the shadows with a beam of light in all directions, desperately searching for a factor that could explain the explosion, an intruder or a fallen branch, but visually he found nothing. Trying to keep a cool head, he attempted to rationalize the impact. He convinced himself that perhaps a log had shifted in his own campfire, but his gut told him that the noise had been too loud and distinct to be justified by something so ordinary. After a few minutes of searching under immense tension, he thought he found the answer. A wooden sign he had leaned up earlier had fallen to the ground. Relief arrived for a moment, but it was an extremely unstable calm. With the rain intensifying and the passing of the hours, anxiety returned with a vengeance due to the isolation of the place. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, Austin's mental fortitude shattered. Consumed by what he described as an infernal paranoia, he abandoned the tent and ran to lock himself in his vehicle. Although he spent the rest of the early morning safe, the doubt remained suspended in the air at Poca Lake. Did a sign really fall, or was it the justification his mind made up because it needed a logical explanation to keep from panicking? When you are alone in nature, your vulnerability is total, and sometimes the most terrifying thing is not what is visible, but what roars in the darkness that you will never be able to understand. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the other stories on screen to find more unsettling encounters caught on camera. Stay safe out there and remember, the next time you step off the trail, you might not be as alone as you think.